let me, as promised, I want to show you my tomato cages, how I made them. And these are by far the best tomato cages. You can't buy anything like this that I know of. And it's concrete reinforcement wire, and that comes, at least around here it does, in 5-foot widths, and I think you can buy it 50 feet long, 100 feet long. It's not cheap, but this tomato cage and the ones I have are probably 15 years old or more than that. I don't know. I mean, they're old. And what you'll do is take, again, it comes in a roll, a big roll. You'll roll it out, cut off 5 feet. Now in this instance, I cut off 5.5 feet, because what I did was I cut it off right there and bent that back to where I could hook it to make the circle. I don't think I would do that again if I'm going to make some more. I would just I'd cut it off right there, not leave that wire right there. Cut it off right there and just bring it up together and wire it. Tie wrap it, wire it, something that'll keep it together, a little baling wire, something like that. And then something at the bottom that I did on some of them, and it works real well for quite a while, is I cut off the bottom ring. In other words, this is going to have a bottom on it just like that. And I cut that off to make me some spikes. And I left those full length. Works pretty good. Don't expect them to hold your tomatoes up when your tomatoes get 5, 6, 7, 8 feet tall and a big strong wind comes. That's just not going to be in the ground far enough to do that. And they will break off, they will rust. That's usually the first thing to start rusting on them. And you can see that I have some some rust issues with some of them. But this is that makes a 5-foot. If you cut off the bottom here, it's actually 4.5 feet. Because again, it comes in a 5-foot width, and this is the way it's going to come. In other words, you're going to roll it out. It's going to come in a roll like that. You're going to roll it out, and it's 5 feet wide. The roll is 5 feet wide. Okay, and then you'll just unroll it, cut off 5 feet, roll it back up into a cylinder, and then that's what you have. It's tomato cage, and that will make. I don't know how old you are. If you're 20 years old, it may not be the last one you'll ever need, but if you're 50 years old, it probably will be. They will last for a long, long time. The only problem is finding a place to store them in the wintertime. You can just leave them in your garden if that's what you do. But if you like to leave your garden clean and nothing, no cages or anything in it, then the only way to do this that I found is lay them up against a fence or something like that. And stack 2 or 3, and then pyramid them. Stack 2 on top of that, 1 on top of that. So they're a little bulky to store, but that is the only thing I have found wrong with them. And the good thing about it, these are 6-inch squares. Most concrete wire that I've seen is 6-inch squares. You can reach right through and get your tomatoes. You got plenty of room to reach through and get tomatoes all over the plant. So I like that, and you can even reach to the back of it and get, because there's just plenty of room. That 6-inch square gives you plenty of room. So that's what I'm doing on tomato cages. In fact, I'll just go ahead and take you out of the garden now. It's a little windy, got a storm moving in, but before I put the cages in, I'll put these 3/8 rebar in the ground. Some of them not so straight. But and then I'll put the cages and tie the cages, 2 cages in each of these tubs. And don't ask where I get the tubs. I can't get them anymore. It's a fiberglass tub, but can't get it anymore. Got the bottoms cut out. 2 cages in each of these, and then I will tie both cages to that rebar. And I'll show you that. I do have also some that were smaller. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one is only 9 squares. It was made out of 9 squares, where the rest of them were made out of 10. I'll measure them in just a minute and get back with show you that in just a minute. This one was 9. This one is actually 8 squares, I think. Let me count them again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one is only 8 squares, so it would be 4 feet of the concrete wire instead of 5 feet. So you can save some money doing that. And I'll measure this one just so you know the dimensions and you'll know how big you want to make yours. I'll do that in just a minute. Let me get this row done. Okay, done. I had to take the drip line, had to pull the drip line out, and then set the cages in, and then run the drip line back through it, wiggle it through all the way down. Wasn't a big deal. Just took a second or two to do. Some of these are shorter, like I said. This is where my short ones start. So about a third of the row, a little more than a third of the row is 4.5 foot concrete wire cages, and the rest of it is 5 foot. Now again, these are 6-inch squares, concrete 6 by 6. Now, how big of a diameter are these? The ones that are 10 squares, and I told you can count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares and cut it. The ones that are 10 squares are 19 inches. Okay? That is a 10 square one. This one is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8. And this is one of my older ones. 8 square is 16 inches. Okay, 16 inches in diameter. And a 9 square is 17 inches. I had one over here that I just looked at. The 9 squares, if you do a 9 square, it's 17 to 18 inches. That's 17. This one's a little oblong. The last two here are kind of sad looking. They're little funkified because I ran over with my tractor and I had to straighten them out. You can see that one there also has issues, kind of all bent up. Ran over that one too. Kind of hard to see when you're sitting 8 feet tall on the tractor. But that'll give you an idea. If you use 8 squares of concrete wire, you're going to get about a 16 inch. If you use 9 squares, about a 17 inch, and 10 squares will get you a 20 inch. Okay, 19 inch. That one again is a little oblong. 19. That may have been a 9 square. 19 inch. So 17, 18, 19. Whether it be a 8 squares, cutting off 8 squares, or 9 or 10. I probably could have figured that out if I knew what pi r square meant, but I don't, so I just do it this way. These cages are probably, especially these older ones here, are probably 15 years old, maybe 20. Those are at least 10, 12, something like that. I can't remember the last time I bought wire to make any. I mean, of course, I can't remember yesterday either. But my point is, they're going to last forever. I mean, they're not forever. They're going to last a long time. So, this next row over here, I don't have any more cages. I wrecked a few of them and just don't have any more than this is 26 of them. So this row here will get the Florida weave treatment. I'll put a 3/8 inch rod, drive it down in between. I don't know how often, maybe just one per tub. I think that'll do it. I'll probably have to put one on the outside here, or maybe even a T-post on the outside. And then I'll show you when I do it. But give you something to look forward to. What are you talking about? So, tomato cages, make you some. I have talked plenty. Got a storm brewing. We're gone.